But when I was getting ready for this, I've interviewed Mark a few times, and what I always appreciate is that he says exactly what he thinks, and we don't get
Even
that
if it gets me fined.
that often. We did first interview I do with Mark Cuban, right? It's about business, this and that, and at the end I throw in a question about, hey, would you be interested in LeBron James? So he answers me, but apparently you can't do that.
Nope.
So
it's a weak moment.
the next day on ESPN, I see $100,000 fine, and I think this guy is never going to sit down with me again for an interview.
This close.
But he did. So few fun facts. They say Mark has mellowed since having kids. I'm not sure if that's true or not. We'll see. He bought into Yahoo after Marissa Mayer took over, which I found pretty interesting. So he's bullish on that. He has recently said politics scares him because you can't be honest. So don't even think of asking him if he'll ever run, although he does have a lot of political opinions. He said on CNN last week something interesting, and he said that he doesn't think America's in bad shape at all. He's pretty bullish on our economy and our future, which I like to hear, and he's in the Warren Buffett camp when the question comes up of should the rich pay more in taxes. So those are some interesting things that stood out to me. But I think the most interesting thing is what he just told me right now backstage, and he said television has a huge advantage over the internet, and he said the internet is designed for everything but video. This coming from the internet guy. So what?
First of all, we started AudioNet that turned into broadcast.com in 1995. So I started streaming in 1995. Nothing that started in 1995 is still new. It's off to college now. So having been involved in streaming and technology for so long, I try to take an objective look. And if you look at what YouTube or any streaming streamer does, they take a content source, they encode it, they put it out via digital, and it goes to an end device. How's that any different than television? So what you see on television is basically streaming. The difference is when you put it out over the internet's designed for everything but video. Television is designed for video. And I think over the past 17 years, we've gotten so internet-centric that we forget that the technology is moving just as quickly, if not faster, on the internet side. And then people look at it and say, well, look at the Time Warners, the DirecTV, the Dishes, et cetera, the telcos, Verizon and AT&T, they're stupid, right? They're not going to do it right. They always get it wrong. Well, again, the kids that were 22 years old when we started AudioNet are now 40 years old and in management positions. There's no more stupidity about the internet where you think, if just because you're online, all the traditional media companies are at a disadvantage. They're not. And what I'll tell you is that television has a huge advantage in the social media world. Why?
Why?
Because, I'm glad you asked. You know what zero latency is? Zero latency is when everybody experiences the same thing at the same time, right? Does everybody here have perfect wireless at home?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Everybody's TV work when you turn it on?
Yes.
Yeah. See, the thing about zero latency on television, everybody sees the same thing pretty much at the same time. Maybe not instantaneously at the same time, but you all share at the same time. And now that we're sitting with our devices on our couches with, it used to be our hand was on our pants and one hand was on a beer, but now we've got one or two hands on a device. And we're tweeting and we're posting to whatever our social media is. And we're using television as the instigator for all that. So now television, because it's zero latency, has become the starting point for conversations. The reality is, when you watch on television, when you watch a Mavs game, when you watch Shark Tank, when you watch Access TV and we're broadcasting a live concert, it's a unique experience that you can't get online. So if Access TV, if we're broadcasting Aerosmith, like we did a few weeks ago, we had the people with the band tweeting, we had people at the concert, we're handing them postcards and stuff saying tweet to the people watching, and we had the people watching tweeting, and that created a unique experience. Yeah. Now think about Gangnam Style. 1 billion people watched that online. Everybody here watch Gangnam Style?
Yeah.
Did you talk to anybody while you did it? Do you know any two people that engaged with each other while they were watching? It's such a different experience. Then you take the next part. There might be 300 channels and nothing on, but like we were talking earlier, you could put something on the smallest TV network in the middle of the night, and you're going to get more views than any video that you put online without a ton of promotion. And so television has become the medium for starting the social conversation that more people participate in than any other medium. And the reality is, by the time you watched it on YouTube, you already missed it.